Another sub puss hole of the week.
More than me, even. All right, a tie. Can we at least agree on a tie?
You.
Oh my God! This isn't like back in 9/11 where you can just bail out of a movie theater,
Right.
like a pussy,
Yeah.
you know. And this, you know.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
All right. Well, welcome back to Motor Dick Part 2.
Deuce.
Tell him, Steve Dave. Where we will be finishing up last week's show, and I mean that's redundant. Part 2, we're finished. Yeah, people get it.
They get
we have a very bright audience.
We do.
You know what I mean?
We definitely have Mensa members.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I was contacted at least 2.
We also have listeners who work in a slaughterhouse.
Yes, we do.
Did you read that? Yeah.
Do we do?
No, somebody sent a box over there with a book
Like
about
cow brains?
Q.
Oh my God! You just heard the live fucking Q knocking over an entire spinner of fucking trade paperbacks.
It wasn't even worth getting up for. It really wasn't.
I feel
yes.
like a real motor dick.
Part 2 of Motor Dick. Now this will be this will be Christmas week, right?
Yeah, it should be Christmas Day.
What day is Christmas fall on?
I think it's on a Friday.
On a Friday? Okay, so
Eat some Christmas cookies.
put the gifts to the side, listen to Tell 'em Steve Dave, then get to the gifts.
All right. You don't have to worry about it. You'll do it tomorrow.
You have anything that you're angling for Christmas? Something you really hope you're getting?
Wow. I've been told I have a lot of surprises, more surprises this year than I've ever had before. That's the word that I've gotten from the wife.
Really?
Yeah, they're like she's pretty proud of. She's been boasting that I've got surprises this year.
Oh, that must be exciting, huh?
It is. Surprises are always good.
Yeah, I like it better than like you know what you're getting for sure. Like I know what I'm getting for sure. So.
Oh yeah, you've already picked it out. What's the one thing you're getting picked out?
I only wanted one thing. It's a reproduction painting of a Frank Frazetta.
Oh, not the fucking Death Dealer.
Yeah, Death Dealer.
So cliched, bro.
No, it's not. It's awesome.
The Death Dealer?
Yeah.
The guy on the horse?
The horse?
No.
It's fucking on every van from the fucking 1980 on.
That image is hardly ever used by, like, say, Molly Hatchet or...
You're really getting
No. Not
what
that
Frank
one.
Frazetta one? The one with the Ice Warrior?
No, I'm going to show you. I think you actually might like it. It's pretty cool. But it's a like I said, it's a reproduction. But
There's no slaughterhouse shit here.
They say it's museum quality with the canvas and the paints and all that stuff. That's really all I wanted.
Oh, yeah, Universal Monsters, a Frankenstein and a Dracula.
It's pretty
That's
cool
nice. How big
looking,
is
right? It's 4 feet
pretty cool.
by
That's
by
big.
30 inches. Yeah.
So you're going to get that framed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to cost you a pretty penny to frame it. Don't go to
Yep.
Michael's.
No, I'm not going to fucking Michael's.
There's 60% off coupons? They're bullshit.
Yeah, it's almost like they add 60%. You're like, you can't be for real. Like, you can't be. But the Twitter guy said that yes, most people who work in slaughterhouses are fuck ups. He didn't count himself amongst them.
Hey, Q, you got anything on the docket for Christmas? Anything you're expecting? You can't wait to unwrap?
Christmas for me is more about giving. That's awesome, man.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I really have enjoyed giving because honestly, man, like I just buy whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At this point in my life, and I'm so low rent when the shit that I like an Xbox, a PlayStation. I'm not like a high.
That's low rent?
Guy.
Ooh.
La-di-da.
Some people are buying themselves cars and fucking jets and houses
Really?
and shit. Sure.
What? What circles are you running? People are like, I brought myself a house for
What
Christmas.
do you think? There's
A
not?
jet.
I'm not buying myself a Christmas. I mean, throughout the year, I just buy things that I want.
And you're running in circles now, where you're talking to people who are like, I brought myself a jet.
No. You said high ticket item. You called an Xbox a high ticket item. I'm saying we live in a world where I don't think an Xbox is a high ticket item.
Some people's worlds.
Yeah, not Planet Q. I guess.
Not on Planet Q.
How much does Xbox run? Is it like $500 the new ones?
It's like $300.
That Xbox
Bullshit.
One? That
Xbox,
new one?
New Xbox is only
Hold on a second.
$300.
Do it right
He doesn't know how much a gallon of milk is, I guarantee it. So,
I don't drink milk. Why would I know? I can tell you what a fucking.
We could
2 liter-
talk about. We gotta do some ads though before we can get the fuck out of here.
Hold on.
okay.
Wait, we're not leaving until I know how much an Xbox One costs.
Well, this is on the second.
It's.
This is on the second show.
I mean, with the game, it's $350. So I imagine without a game, without the Kinect, it's less. Yeah, that's high ticket. I would think a high ticket is like a $5,000 watch or shit like that. Like that's stuff that people are
Try
buying.
not to knock over the spinner, but I just saw a $50 bill fall out of your asshole. Just if you want to pick it up.
You guys are nuts.
Or wipe your ass again with it.
You think an
Whatever
Xbox,
you want.
you think a fucking video game system is a high ticket
That's
item?
what he does.
Yes.
He instead of
That's
toilet.
I think you may be a bit removed from the common man. Q.
So then, what would you call like a $5,000 watch?
Another Galaxy.
Extravagant.
Okay.
You got one of them too?
No.
Okay.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm not that guy.
I'm getting Sage a cat. I'm
See, that's nice. She's going to be depressed later.
And you know what? I really, this is one of those things where I want to, yeah, I know, right? The whole fucking, the whole house will be, I take umbrage with this term. I can't stand it when people say like, oh, I rescued a dog. I rescued a cat. You fucking adopted one. You went into a fucking SPCA or a PetSmart or whatever, and you fucking adopted a cat. You didn't rescue shit. You, Q, rescued a cat.
That's
you
true.
literally rescued a cat.
That's right. I saved it from traffic.
And I don't like.
Would that dog that they didn't adopt be put down? Could it have possibly been put down?
What dog?
That whoever rescued,
Adopted. Well,
adopted
Don't piss him off.
from PetSmart, is there a possibility that dog they didn't take home could face the gas chamber?
No, this is one from a no-kill shelter.
So you
you
This is the one I'm talking about.
You may not.
To fit my argument.
They may not. Yeah.
This is a fucking intro to an episode. Man. Can we start the actual part two?
Okay. Yeah, welcome to part 2 of Motor Dick. So off that onto something a little bit more, a little lighter.
Eerie?
Okay.
I ended up going to court about. I was profiled. Dude. I got to court for the bus passing incident, and if you didn't hear, you're not familiar. Every day I drop Sage off to a bus stop, and one day this guy in a minivan doesn't stop for the bus. The bus has the lights on, the gates out, all that shit. And I can tell he's not going to stop. So I step into the road and I sort of give the like yield, like, whoa, 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 slow down sign. And he slows down, but he doesn't stop. He keeps going. And as he goes by, I hit his window with my ring, like, you know, there's a tap on his, and I was like, there's a bus right there, asshole. And he keeps going. So I write down his license plate number, bring it to the police. He continues it 3 different times. So now, yesterday is court day, right? We go to court, and there's a cop at the front of the courtroom, and he said, "This is the line to see the prosecutor." And I said, "I'm not a defendant."
Oh man, they didn't recognize your local celebrity.
And he goes, "No, this guy knows. He's from Highlands. He knows who I am."
Okay. Has he responded to any of your various shenanigans over the years?
No. He's a newbie, and he knows, he knows Suzanne because we had the deal with that stalker.
Right.
So he goes, "All right, well, when she gets out of the bathroom, she needs to see the she needs to see the prosecutor. I said, why are you leaping to the conclusion that we're defendants? I said, I signed a complaint against somebody. Right. And he goes, oh, okay. But I thought that was strange that he would just automatically assume that
This is the Highlands Police?
This is the Highlands Police, but since Highlands got fucked up in the storm, the courtroom has moved to Atlantic Highlands.
Oh, okay.
So we get into the courtroom, and long story short, we're the very last case, of course.
Didn't you just do a little profiling back into that movie theater?
Yeah. Right after 9/11, a fucking Arabian dude with a fucking bag in his lap, alone, sitting like,
right.
Yeah. I profile. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely profile, and I didn't sign a complaint against him or anything. But so I get up there, and like this judge was he did not seem to be like in a jovial mood. So, I mean, at all.
Do you expect judges to be in jovial moods?
You know what? Sometimes you'll get a judge that'll like have a little bit of fun, joke around.
Right.
I mean, back in the day, Judge Horan, you remember him in Highlands? Like
I've never had to go appear in
Really?
for really anything other than jury duty.
The time that I made fun of my neighbor and she pressed charges, I had to go to court for that. And that was.
I mean, if he doesn't make fun of it, I mean, he's probably going to put a gun to his head because he can't believe he's wasting his life having to preside over a fucking courtroom hearing about you sticking your tongue out and talking derogatory towards your neighbor.
Yeah, or like say the Olive Garden situation.
I thought I was going to be saving lives. I thought I was going to make a difference in the world.
You would be surprised at how much. I mean, the sticking out of the tongue was no more or less of import than fucking 90% of the shit you see going through there. It's almost everyone's driving drunk. Or
that's important.
Or you know what I mean? It's not varied. It's always the same thing. It's either somebody was driving drunk, or it's a restraining order that the female is lifting. Now we're getting along, so we don't need the order of protection anymore, or whatever. So. I'm the witness, so I go up there, and the guy asks me a couple questions, and I answer them. I'm sorry, the guy who I pressed the charges against.
He's acting as his own lawyer?
He didn't get a lawyer. Yeah.
So he's defending himself? Mm-hmm. You got to that's ballsy.
Oh, I'm sure he's just like, it's my word against his.
Ballsy's one word for it. No, it's his word against mine and the bus drivers.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But his wife was there, who honestly I wanted to fucking lay the fuck out because she would not. I thought she was going to jump over the fucking the bench because every time something was said that she disagreed with, she's ready to leap over the bench and fucking like 'cause she wants to tell the judge badly.
Did she interject?
She never got to interject, which I think killed her. I really believe it killed a part of her soul that she wasn't able to go up there.
Though. Like she didn't do it though.
She didn't do what?
Even though she wanted to, she had enough self-control not to.
She checked herself.
She checked herself, yeah, but I think that she thought she would be called up as a witness so she could give her.
Well, why didn't her husband call her as a witness if he was fucking defending himself?
Because I think at that point the judge was like, all right, I got it.
Okay.
I don't know, since I was the one who brought the charges, I didn't know if I was allowed to question him. It didn't seem like it because I was never given the opportunity.
Were you acting as a prosecutor?
No, but I had spoken to the prosecutor earlier. And
wouldn't that be her or his job to ask questions of the?
Well, he wasn't there, so he wouldn't know like specifics, Right.
Okay.
And what happened was the driver and I'm sorry, I'm totally wrong. The woman actually did get up there for like.
She was called to the stand?
3 questions. Yeah, I'm sorry. She was up there for like 3 questions, and then the judge was like, sit down.
This is like Perry Mason, huh?
Totally. Yeah. It was, people were
high drama.
The one person left in the fucking courtroom was on the edge of their seat. But the guy has these manuals that he's showing that his whole basis and argument was that she shouldn't have been parked the way she was parked. And this is what drove me crazy about the judge. And I really wanted to say something. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. But at one point, the guy says that he thought I was the bus driver, profiling again, coming
How is
over.
that profiling?
Just because I look like a fucking slovenly, like,
That's really
you're profiling.
Yeah.
Skid Row.
What are you
Sounds like you're
doing?
profiling against bus drivers.
Skid Row type guy.
Bus drivers a noble profession, right?
They got our children in their hands.
Yeah, I know.
Every day.
I've seen video of bus drivers kicking handicapped kids, fucking literally kicking them in the back right off the bus. They're not all good eggs. But
what was that movie where the bus driver drove into a lake and killed all the kids in town, and they were trying to pull it together afterwards?
I don't know. I don't know what that movie was.
So he thought you were the bus driver.
So he thinks I'm the bus driver coming over to ask for help because he thought the bus was broken down, even though he's seen it a million times in the same fucking place. And he also, like, they perjured themselves. Like, he said the lights weren't on, which they were. She also said the lights weren't on, which they were.
Right.
Was the bus driver at court?
Yeah, the bus driver came as the witness. Then he said that it went from me being the kindly bus driver, coming over to ask for help to I was a wild man who looked like I was in a fit of road rage. And the reason he went by was because he was afraid of me.
Okay.
One, I'm like, you're a fucking pussy. To admit that in front of your wife when you know goddamn well it's fucking not true.
Right.
You're a fucking pussy. And
another sub-puss all of the week.
More than me, even. All right, a tie. Can we at least agree on a tie?
But you're an intimidating looking dude, though.
But I wasn't being intimidating when I slowly went out into the road. I swear to you, I would tell you the truth.
Right, but you got to realize, though, that like most people would be terrified if you came up on them.
If I was just like, whoa, slow down. This is a guy who is running late for the ferry and didn't give a fuck that the bus was there.
I 100%, I know you're right. Like he just wanted to catch his fucking ferry and didn't give a fuck about anything else.
No.
So he perjured himself.
He perjured himself and she perjured herself. And
I don't think you can if you're testifying on for your spouse.
No, I believe that the law is you don't have to testify against them. If that's even true, that's still up for fucking debate.
Isn't that Arrested Development?
I can't figure out if that's true or not still. What I do know is you're not allowed to lie for your husband in court. That much I do know. So she went up there and lied, and this is the end of the day.
You're the last case?
Yep. I can already I could tell halfway through the judge is like, he just wanted to get out of there. And so he didn't slap him with the maximum fine. He gave him no point. Ultimately, it would have been 5 points and a fine of like $500 or something like that. And he ended up giving him a $400 fine with no points.
That's
and he said,
fucking hefty fine, man.
Because of the holidays. That's what he said. And that's when I was like, who the fuck cares about the holidays if you're talking about a little kid potentially getting run over? And I talked to the prosecutor earlier, and he asked me, do you want to see if he can plead it down or whatever?
I'm shocked that the legal system works like this. I guess I'm
It's
living
crazy.
under a rock. No. Not that. I'm shocked that anybody could just drag me to court and use their word against mine and put me in a situation.
If two people say you did it.
Yeah, but that means just Johnny Dick off the street and his friend could just be fucking around and be like, hey, let's say we saw him fucking
run a light or whatever.
And then I have to answer for that?
Sure.
And their testimony is enough to cost me $400?
Well, I mean,
who the fuck are these guys?
It depends on the judge and if he has to believe it. My point was, what do I stand to gain by making this up? Because I don't know this person. He also accused me of harassment because he was following the bus and he was taking pictures of the bus and taking pictures of the kids.
When? At a later date?
Yeah, at a later date. This was like a couple weeks after. I saw him doing it. And the bus driver told me he was doing it. So one day I followed him. And I think that he realized I was following him. So he took a zigzaggy route through town. And thankfully, thankfully, I have a luxury car that has, you've driven it, Q.
But why do you think that he was taking pictures of the kids on the bus?
I think what he was looking to do was prove that she didn't always adhere to the rules or the whatever protocol.
So how much? So you wanted him to get the what fine?
I wanted him to get 5 points and the 500.
But he got what?
He got a $400 fine.
So $100 less than what you wanted, but you wanted the points too.
The points would have destroyed him. Yeah, the points would have been big, and he deserved it. He did deserve it.
You did, but at least could you imagine if you walked out of there with nothing?
If I walked out with nothing,
you'd have been devastated.
I wouldn't even be able to. I probably would have been held in contempt of court because I would have made a fucking ruckus about it. At one point, towards the end, I was going to say something, and the judge was like, "Well, if you want to say something, you have to say it through the prosecutor." And the prosecutor looked back at me, and he's just like, "This is what we got. Let's just go with it." So I took his.
But what if the guy had just said, "No, I stopped"? I don't know why these
He did say it. He said he stopped.
We live in a country where just two people could come out of the fucking mists and accuse me of things.
I think most people are going to assume though that two people aren't going to waste their time doing it unless it really happens.
You're on TV. What if a fan is I don't know, it'll be fun to drag Walt Flanagan to court. Hey, we saw Walt Flanagan run fucking red lights. Now we get to meet Walt Flanagan in court. And you got to fucking go?
Most people probably wouldn't go to that kind of length, so.
Yeah.
They have to assume. It's
much easier to come to the store.
Yeah.
Well, I was really talking about me. But that's crazy. That's insane.
But it's not insane because you have to report a crime if you see it. Now, my mother did that once. Pam saw somebody do something in Seabright.
Unless it's a bomb or a potential bomb.
What do you mean?
You have to report it unless it's a potential bomb.
Yeah, then you run home to Kevin's house to fucking take scorn from Jen.
Oh, yeah. That goes without saying. Yeah, I was like, did he look bum-like? Was he endangering other people? I hope that you just hightailed it home.
Yeah, but a crime, if someone breaks a window. Right. And there's evidence of a crime having been committed. There's no evidence that this guy committed a crime. He didn't hit a kid. He just has these two people saying that he did something.
I don't agree though that you shouldn't be able to put your word against somebody else's word. That's the way it works, man.
Yeah, but there's no evidence of a crime having been committed.
Two people say he did.
That's not evidence. That's hearsay.
But that's why he didn't throw the book at him.
But he shouldn't have given him anything.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
There was video evidence of this guy.
Two eyewitnesses but I mean, do you know how people go to jail people go to prison on eyewitness testimony?
But if there's a body or there's some evidence that a crime was committed.
No, not always. Circumstantial evidence sometimes.
Yeah, somebody goes missing and you
sure, that's what I'm saying. Someone's missing.
Right, but you don't need a body to convict a murder. It's been proven now you don't need a body.
There was a murder.
You don't know that. They're just missing.
That's fine. Someone's missing. There's something that occurred.
Yeah, but people have been convicted of murder on people, and they have never found a body.
And in that case, I agree with. But a murder isn't a crime you can just make up. You can't just say, hey, he killed this guy. There has to be an actual guy murdered.
Or missing.
These are quantifiable things. It's not quantifiable to say, hey, this guy didn't stop at a
Still a crime.
But it's not quantifiable. You can't.
It is quantifiable, and I'll tell you why. Because that's the whole purpose of court. That's the whole purpose of the judge, for him to listen to both sides, and then he makes the determination.
Oh, I don't like this.
No, it totally works out. Somebody brought me to court once. They were walking down the middle of the road. It was these two girls. They didn't like me. They didn't like the girl that was in the car with me.
Right.
They brought me to court saying that I tried to run them over, which I didn't.
And how many witnesses did they have?
It was two girls who were at the time they were maybe 18.
But that's saying, if you had the wrong judge, you could have gotten in trouble.
Possibly, but if it's up to the judge to determine which side sounds like, think about it. Like, why would I, out of nowhere, accuse this guy of passing a bus and then show up to court and sit there and that guy never shows up? A second time, the guy continues it. A third time, I go and I wait until the very end. Like, that judge has to take all this into account. Okay. And it's not like there's there's like a standing feud. Like, let's say we had been he's my neighbor and we've been in arguments before or whatever. And you how
did that come out in court? Like, do you know the defendant? Do they have to say you know each other? How did the judge not realize you guys didn't have a history?
He asked me. He said, had you seen or did you know
Did he ask that guy too?
Person? Yes. And we both said no.
He doesn't watch comic book men.
And I said, what's that?
He doesn't watch comic book men, I guess.
He did. It didn't appear.
Watch some Practical Jokers.
And I also... He didn't. It's weird. I'd have to check the transcripts, but it didn't appear any of that came up. But he asked me. He said, "What happened?" I said, "Exactly what happened." I said, and I then went directly to the police station,
right.
And I gave them the license plate number. They printed out a picture, and they said, "Was this the driver of the car?" And I said, "Yes, it was."
Okay, so you're saying that there are common sense steps that would deter the average person from. The average malcontent from just throwing around baseless accusations.
Right.
Do you think the average person would keep up the level of commitment to this that you had?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I would ask you. Like, let's say you saw, one of your kids was getting on the bus and exactly how it happened.
I'd probably say maybe yell, flip the bird. But I probably wouldn't have gone to the police though. I just wouldn't think of it. I'd be like, what's it going to get me?
Yeah.
I probably would have that like it'd be almost out of like it happened, it's over. I probably wouldn't have. But I'm saying like I think the judge has to take that into consideration too though. Like most people probably, I don't know if they follow through with this. He has to weigh like.
That's what I mean.
Is he too riled up about this, or is he riled up enough because it legitimately happened? Judge has to the judge got a lot to think about in this.
I also, when I gave my statement,
making fun of him before, but
now you're on his side, right? Yeah.
I think he also has to take into account that. When I gave my statement, I was very calm and I answered his questions and I followed protocol and did exactly what I was supposed to do. Whereas when this guy got up, like the prosecutor was actually objecting to this guy because he would ask the bus driver a question and as she's answering, he just starts cutting her off and saying that she's not telling the truth and all this other bullshit. And like I said, his asshole wife is like ready to jump over the fucking bench to give her, side of the there was a good moment her side of the testimony, but there was one moment where like she glanced over and I like it was from me to like say where our friend is sitting right here, I'm on one side, she's on the other side, and she looked over and I go, "You're a fucking liar." And she looked at me and she looks at the judge who didn't see it and like she wanted to tell him. She wanted to tell him in the worst way, but there was no way she could tell him. And would I have been a little bit happier if he got the 5 points? Yeah, because he deserved it. Because from then on, and then he called me a bully. He was saying that I following him and because
did you deny that or did you?
No, I said the guy was taking pictures of kids. I said I didn't call the police. I said I called the school to let them know because in this day and age, you have to. This isn't like back in 9/11 where you can just bail out of a movie theater,
right.
Like a pussy, you know. This, God forbid. I said I think parents should be aware that there's this fucking guy taking pictures of the school bus and of their kids. So. Wow. This is something that needed to be brought to light because what if it wasn't and then he does something?
Do you feel justice has been served? To an extent.
To an extent.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think when people go into court and justice isn't served, how heartbreaking and how ripped their soul is ripped out when, somebody has been victimized, and that person doesn't
something
pay a price.
serious, like people get murdered, people
So you have
raped,
to be happy, and
he got that guy. What made me happy was
his fucking day.
That guy did not walk away happy. He fully, I believe he thought, I'm going to walk out of here with nothing.
Have you seen him since?
No, I haven't seen him since. And that's the other
He
thing.
didn't say anything to you outside the court?
No, he stayed in the court. He waited until I left. Yeah. But that's bullying. Now I'm a bully because I followed him around town once.
Wow.
And harassed him, you know.
All right, well, I'm proud of you, man.
And it's just
man.
like, yeah. So fucking case
Local
closed.
man does
Case
good.
closed on that motherfucker. Yeah. And I think that's it. I mean, I had something else, but it would go really long. And this is a two-parter again.
why don't you do a thing or record something about like something so you have a break, a natural break.
Yeah, I'll do it right now.
Commercial says my call that I pushed a half hour is now 43 minutes later.
All right.
We hate to do this to you, but this is a two-part Tell 'em Steve Dave. So part 2 of Motor Dick will...
that works on all sorts of levels. There's a motor dick driving that car, and we got our own personal lovable motor dick right over there.
Yeah, not all motor dicks are assholes. Yeah.
Some of us love them motor dicks. I don't think you should apologize, though. We went the extra mile tonight so they would have something on Christmas week.
Yeah, well, we should wish, like in this little break, wish every listener
happy holidays.
As good a holiday as they could possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Good holidays. That Bandcamp thing is still up. Go to bandcamp.com.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If you want to give yourself a gift. Like I said, go to csmod.com. We're going to be in Florida, me and Kev, for 3 different dates.
That's great.
And I implore you to come out because I'm going to use the money. I'm bringing Sage down to Disney.
Not SeaWorld?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Everyone,
you should just for all the shit you're going to take this week. Mm-hmm. You should say you're not definitely. You should definitely go on record. I will not be at SeaWorld.
Yeah. Oh, really? I was going to say the opposite. I'm going to SeaWorld as long as people don't like me anyway. I'm looking for free passes to SeaWorld and Universal Studios.
You'll get them. There's assholes out there. They'll give them.
Yeah, I love you, assholes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Oh, just say what real fast. Just say Tell 'em Steve Dave so I can do the other one.
All right, let's get this going. Let's roll out of here. Tell 'em Steve Dave. Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Just another soul in this cold black world. So I sit back, I smoke the tree and watch my mind swirl. Everything is salty, spin, I feel my stomach hurl. I'm talking to the devil, but he resembles a girl. Spell the devil backwards, he lived in this world. He talks about the greed of rich men overseas, while company executives got poor men on their knees, sucking the dick of minimum wage until they gums bleed. With the fear of a newborn, maybe another mouth to feed. I ask him about his views on life, he says that shit's just funny. How the fuck you gonna judge a man off of his money? How you gonna blame the government cause you got nothing? Cause my Molly taught me one thing about life. All I got is one love and all I need is one pipe. I'ma smoke my ganja till a nigga see the promised life. Welcome to my nightmare, cause I know I won't make it there. I look back at the devil, he replies with blank stares. He tells me, young protege, you remind me of myself. Ambitious for heaven's throne and Jesus is wealth. A psychopathic person that just goes off in his zone. Smokes a pound of wood until his father's on the phone. Well, your father's been gone for 14 years. So who's on the other line when he whispers in your ears? He tells you everything's alright, he tells you keep your head up. Unknowingly, it's an opposition set up. Cause once you keep your head up, that's when the lead busts. Them 5 hollow point shells, they always have a name, bruh. Say you're comfortable with your bitch of paranoia. I wake up, I hear the alarm clock ring. I turn right, a masked man, I hear my girl scream. In one hand the needle, in the other machete. He cocks his arm back and he asks me if I'm ready. The needle's filled with morphine to keep his hand steady. My girl, she turns around, it's the devil in the flesh. The masked man swings his blade, the angel of death. One slash across my wrist, one slash across my neck. Your death will be by suicide, they fuck you in my last breaths. Fuck.
SoundCloud wants to make it easier for you to get all of your favorite Smodco podcasts at home or on the go. Get the SoundCloud app today, and you can follow and get your podcast on with your computer or smartphone. Guess what else? The podcasts are on SoundCloud before anywhere else. Go to the Google Play or Apple App Store and get your free app and SoundCloud account today. This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.